Ripple XRP, an increase of 69%, preparing for the Great Reset. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am JR, your favorite crypto dad, reporting to you from the basement. If you're like me and you missed the late 90s .com bubble burst because we were too busy out blowing our job money, rocking our structure mock turtlenecks, hanging out at Crowbar, well, come on, hang out. Grab your favorite NES, grab a slice of Pizza Hut from the Book It Club, and let's capitalize on the crypto bubble that has yet to burst. We've got a lot to cover in this video today. Ripple XRP, there has been a 69% move, the $35 trillion question in crypto, and so much more. But before we jump into it, as always, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and comment 777 down below if you're feeling bullish on crypto. We're going to jump into some brief news first. Coming out of crypto news, Ripple expands its partnership. One every new day, it seems like. And this one is with Spanish banking giant BBVA. This is to power crypto custody. Blazing through this one really quickly. Key takeaways are going to be that BBVA will use Ripple's custody tech to manage Bitcoin and Ethereum for retail clients in Spain. The partnership builds on earlier collaborations with Switzerland and Turkey, as we've seen previously. And expansion reflects on a broader post-MiCA push by European banks into crypto. All good news all the way around. Guys, jumping into another piece of news here. This is coming out of the Wall Street Journal. And this startup thinks that private equity-style deals will kickstart the crypto adoption. We're talking about Inversion Labs. Their belief is that acquiring low-margin companies, outfitting them with blockchain, will turbocharge efficiency. And this is one of the many beautiful vehicles that we're seeing coming out of crypto this cycle around. If you were around 2020, 2021 cycle, or even before that, 16, 17, 18 time frame, it's just been, the talk has always been mass adoption. What is, where are we going to see blockchain technology evolve? And right now, I would say this time around, we're looking at DeFi. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that later on in this video. Make sure to stick around for that. But check out this breaking news regarding jobs numbers. It's a clown show, quite honestly. Seeing the revisions every single month, we know that that's going to happen. But why don't they just come out and say how bad it really is? Because at the end of the day, we're seeing the U.S. Labor Department revises negative 911,000 jobs out of the data reported in the 12 months ending in March of 2025. This is a huge revision, and that's coming out of the Kobisi letter on X. Great publication, lots of good Fed data. But let's move into the $35 trillion question in crypto. And this is specifically talking about the U.S. debt. This is breaking news in the last 24 hours, looking at the possibility, this is coming out of one of Putin's advisors, that the U.S. is going to roll their debt into stablecoin and then just squash the market, devalue the market, and hit the Great Reset button. So U.S. plans to use crypto and stablecoins to quietly erase $35 trillion in national debt. Again, this is coming out of one of Putin's advisors to quote-unquote shove the debt into stablecoins, devalue it, and reset the system. Let's pause for 1 second here. What in the world would that do to the overall crypto market, let alone the stock market and dollars that would be completely decimated and devalued by that point? Well, speculative as it may be, reflects the growing global distrust of the petrodollar system, which many argue is nearing its end. And we'll talk about the charts in a moment here on that. Analysts believe that the debt jubilee could be coming, where those already outside the fiat stand to benefit the most. And that is who? That is you and me and everybody who's already moving out of fiat and into cryptocurrencies. So is it the stable coins? Is that where you're going to see the biggest gain, or is that where you're going to see those devaluations come place? Well, what we do know so far, Trump has signed the Genius Act. We have stable coins that must have full reserves, public audits, AML compliance. Private companies, however, can issue digital dollars fully backed by U.S. Treasuries 1-to-1. So a few more brief points on that, meaning that every one of the digital dollars equals $1 of demand for U.S. government debt. This means the U.S. gets cheap financing without printing new money while pushing global adoption of the stablecoin. So what is going to happen with this? Is this going to be the devaluation of cryptocurrency, stablecoins, wiping out the national debt, but at the same time wiping out the global economy and hitting the Great Reset button at that point? We're going to jump into some charts and look at some things, because at the end of the day, we're seeing Bitcoin that's been rising. Obviously, we're leveled off a little bit right now. We're seeing gold on the move. $3,600 an ounce. Just a massive increase. What was it, 46% increase over the last 12, 24 months, something like that. Who's buying gold? And if you are buying gold and you're planning on selling it at the top right before that wave crests, who is going to be buying it from you? Again, it's super easy to move gold, right? Or is it just maybe that the dollar is devaluing that quickly? And that's what we're seeing. We'll jump into some charts in a moment here. Guys, talking about Ripple XRP, we're talking about BlackRock and a 69% move. Is BlackRock buying XRP? Well, we're going to unpack the rumors in here, and this is coming out of Binance Square, Binance.com. BlackRock, largest asset managers of the world, one of them, might be quietly buying XRP through Coinbase's custody service. Okay, it doesn't seem too far-fetched, so what else are we looking at here? Well, let's look at the facts and separate them from speculation. What we do know, the data shows Coinbase's visible XRP reserves dropped sharply from 780 million tokens in June to less than 200 million tokens in August of 2025. That's where that 69% number comes from. It's a reduction in 69% from Coinbase, but it was an increase of 69% to somebody else's holdings. Well, this wasn't a sell-off. Instead, this was actually a technical restructuring. Coinbase reduced the number of wallets holding XRP and consolidated the assets into fewer, larger wallets. Okay, so where's the BlackRock connection come from? Well, this is because of the partnership between Coinbase Prime and BlackRock's Aladdin platform. Many believe that Coinbase's public XRP wallet simply means the tokens are moved to private. So that's where you see that 69% increase come from. But at the end of the day, is it BlackRock? What we can confirm is that Coinbase's visible XRP holdings have significantly decreased. Coinbase and BlackRock do have a clear and active custody partnership. So again, no real confirmation on that, but a lot of heavy speculation that BlackRock is buying XRP. A lot of XRP army here in this community. What are your thoughts? Leave your comments down below. Does it really matter? Maybe is it indifferent? At the end of the day, I think a lot of people understand what XRP is, what it's going to be used for, and let's jump into some charts. Before we jump into the charts, as we always say, we're going to take a quick look at the Wall Street cheat sheet, the psychology of a market cycle. Understanding this chart is imperative to your trading skills. Again, guys, nothing in this video is financial advice. It's simply informational, educational, and some entertainment purposes only. But when we do look at the technicals, we do need to understand how human psychology plays into that. You can have technicals all day long, but fundamentals are playing a much larger part in this current cycle, in my opinion. Again, that's my opinion, not yours. You can do whatever you want with it. What we have been seeing, though, is that we've come out of our bottoms back in 2023. June of 2023, I think Bitcoin hit that bottom, and it's been moving through, chopping sideways and moving through your phases of hope and optimism, belief, through euphoria. The question is, have we hit euphoria? Have we hit the top and retrace back down for one last little pump that won't quite hit that high? I don't believe so. We'll talk about Bitcoin in just a moment here. There's a lot of question. Are we going to see a little bit more Bitcoin before the end of the month or end of the year? And I do think so. But ultimately, we would move into a period of complacency. At that point, hopefully, you've made your decisions to hedge out whatever percentages that you're hedging and wherever you're putting that. Again, we'll talk about that down the road too. Before we reach our periods of anxiety and denial and flat out panic and saying, oh, that's it. See you in 4 years. If it's 4 years, again, are we in 6-year cycles, 2-year cycles? Have we completely decoupled? Is Bitcoin going to be moving like its own ship moving forward? Well, I think so. Let's look at coin market cap for a quick, brief update on the day. We're looking at $3.91 trillion total market cap for the asset class of cryptocurrency. This is extremely exciting. What we're seeing is that in the last hour, in the last 24 hours at the time of this recording, we're fairly neutral, maybe 1% up or down, not a whole lot of excitement to move on. There has been a slight decrease in volume. There was a hack yesterday, and that affected the copying and pasting of wallet addresses. I'm not going to get into that because it's over and done with, and it sounds like the hackers got away with like $50 for as widespread as that was and affecting as many different platforms as that was. It did decrease volume, though. We'll just point that one out. And let's move into trading view here. Take a quick peek at XRP first and foremost. We broke out of a descending narrowing wedge. Some have pointed this out as a symmetrical triangle, which is great, right? Because that's a bull flag, and that means that we've got some bullish momentum there. There's plenty of other indicators to support that we have some upside potential left in XRP. So again, not financial advice, but where are we at? What are we looking at? Well, simply breaking out of the descending narrowing wedge, or a bull pennant, bull flag, whatever you want to call that. Looking at the extension from that point, measuring out to somewhere around that $4.30 mark. It doesn't even put us, again, if we just went out to the 2618 on the fib extension from the all-time high, the absolute all-time high, to the very, very bottom. Is that really all in play? Does that really even matter anymore? I just don't think it does. I think at this point we're waiting on the institutions to see where XRP is used, what it is used for, and how much it's going to be valued at in order to package currencies that it's moving from, from one country to another, one bank to another, one institution to another, etc., and down the road. But obviously the overall health of cryptocurrency generally relies on Bitcoin to move first, and then we see ETH and other altcoins have our blow off tops, and then we move into our meme coins and stuff like that. And when we're looking at Bitcoin, we see that we've tapped off of this $124,000, $125,000 range, which was where many analysts had kind of put it right at the top there. But when you do break things out and you look at the extensions, it does look like we still have that fib extension to rely on for a possible final high for the cycle. If that plays out and technicals follow suit, we should be looking at somewhere between 155,000 to 208,000. I'm going to be much more conservative when it comes to my predictions, not like some of these other analysts that are out there throwing around 250,000 and higher for Bitcoin for the rest of the year. But where are you at? Leave your comments down below. Where do you see Bitcoin by the end of, say, September? If we're following 2021 cycle patterns, we should have a fun rest of the month, right? For September, we should move into some excitement in the altcoins and meme coins throughout October, November, and come December, we should all be preparing for our hedging out and our profit-taking strategy, right? And where are you putting it? And that is where your education really does come in. What are you doing for your education besides just watching the YouTube videos? These are great videos. We're here to bring you this free content day in and day out. But if you're looking to really take your game to the next level, I'm going to encourage you to jump into the link down below and check out Altcoin Pro. Because at the end of the day, this is an educational platform that has nothing but positive reviews from every single person that's in it. And I can say for myself, this is the education that has changed my life. I can unequivocally say that this education, that this group of trainers and educators and teachers that are out there putting this together has truly changed things for me and my family. I'm a crypto dad, father of 6 kids, and we enjoy this life of children, chickens, crypto and crop and homeschooling and all that fun stuff that goes with it. But it doesn't come by just doing it on our own. So maybe you got lucky and had some good windfalls in crypto and you don't know how to deal with your tax strategy on crypto. That's all in here. Maybe you didn't get lucky. You just followed a lot of really good advice. You took that good advice and you're sitting on a mountain, but now you don't know what to do with it. The cycles come. You got in early in 2023, 2024, and you've been blowing off ever since, and you don't know where to go next. And again, it's not financial advice. It's education, right? And you need to get educated on that. So go ahead and check out the links below. And as always, leave a comment down below. What is it that you want to hear us talk about? Because these markets are going crazy. A lot of times it's like they're up, down, left, right, B, A, select, start. Yeah, you guys caught that. Well, until the next video, this is JR the Crypto Dad signing out saying stay bullish.